welcome to the Aberdeen Wings Coaches Show. Joining us now, Francis Anzalone, head coach of the Aberdeen Wings.
Hi, Ward.
And this week, we are set for a big home weekend, and we get to do it with our co-first place guys in the NIHL Central, the Austin Bruins, who we just had a very, very strong weekend against last weekend. Coach, tell us just an overall view. How do we do in those two road games against Austin?
Well, we obviously went to Austin and picked up two key road wins. I thought we did a good job getting off the bus on Friday. We drove to Austin day of game. We had our meal in Albert Lea, Minnesota. We played a real good road game, and then we played another real good road game on Saturday. These two games were very positive for us. We played fundamentally sound hockey. We were also very gritty, and we got timely saves from Andrew Shortridge on Friday and Chad Catt on Saturday. You're not winning on the road in Austin without real good goaltending. We had that. We had a lot of other good things happen, and here we are, 4 of 4 points on the weekend. Very productive.
You bet. And go back to Andrew Shortridge. First game Friday night in Austin last Friday. A 1-0 shutout for Andrew Shortridge. 34-34. Stopped all the shots on goal. It's impressive just for any goaltender in any league, but for it to be a rookie who's coming in, get his fourth win like that, fourth win, it's very cool.
Yeah, he made a number of key saves at key times. He probably had to make 3 or 4 big saves in the game. Like we've said a couple times on the show, I don't think we put our goalie in a position to have to make 8 or 9 big saves, but Shorty had to come up with 3 or 4 real good ones. And what I like about Andrew Shortridge is he keeps the routine saves routine. He softens the puck. He's really calm. And he went into a pretty loud building on Friday night, their home opener. Austin's a tough team to play for a goalie because they throw the puck at the net from all different angles. We were ready for it. Shortridge was ready for it, and he made a lot of key saves at key times and was our rock back there on Friday.
You bet. We went into kind of some extra time as well on Saturday night in game number 2, a 4-3 shootout win. Difference from the night before was just an overtime win. Going to that shootout, but we had some real key goals in the game, especially right off the way. Jack NILE had a really nice goal. Drew Doyon got an awesome pass from Austin Heekins. And Ronnie Hine, of course, 7th goal in 9 games. I mean, this kid's, I don't want to say unstoppable, but he's definitely showing his skills in this league. So run us through those goals. I mean, and those players all together. They've been the big highlight of the Wings roster to start with.
Yeah, well, let's start with Jack NILE. He's been real solid for us since he came to us from Des Moines in the USHL where he started the season. Jack's a player that we watched play last year for the Chicago Fury. He's actually a guy Mike Gratton and I have been watching for about 3 years now. And Jack was a tender of ours who, as I said, started to training camp with the Buccaneers in the USHL. He's come in. He's a hardworking kid. He's a developing power forward who likes to go to the hard areas. He's good defensively. And he has loved his time here in Aberdeen, and it has been a pleasure to work with. Ronnie's been very, very sharp, as we've talked about. Again, the skill set's there, the skating and the quickness is there, but it's the compete level in Ronnie that I think has put him on the score sheet quite a bit in this young season. And then Drew Doyon he's an older player, a 95, but he's still a developing two-way forward who's trying to be a guy that we can put on the ice in all situations. I'll give you a quick example with Drew, and the fans might find this interesting. In overtime, as a coach, you're deciding who you want to put on the ice. A big factor in overtime is who can win a face-off. We put Drew on the ice for 3 face-offs in overtime. He was 3-0. And that's what he wants to do. He wants to be a guy that can be relied on. He puts the team first, and he's developing nicely here in year 2 with us.
Coach, we saw both goaltenders for the Austin Bruins over the weekend, and we also saw, like you mentioned last week in a preview for last weekend, you mentioned they have a lot of young players that are very good. They also have a lot of returners like Alex Peterson and Brian Backneck, and they're a very skilled team. Obviously, they made it to the Robertson Cup, but you guys, how do you pair up against those types of players, especially when we got to come back here to the Odde and play them again right after the last weekend?
Yeah, they have a number of good veteran players that have returned, and they have a number of solid first-year players who skate well and play with a lot of jam. I like their team a lot. They're built a little bit differently than we are. They're good-sized and heavy and skate well like we do. I think we play slightly different styles, but I thought we went in there and matched up against them really well and kind of played our way. They played their way. We're a puck possession team that likes to hang on to the puck and make plays from there. They do the same, but they like to send it at the net from all different angles. And I thought we were prepared for it well on Friday and Saturday. In the third period of that Saturday game, I thought they had the upper hand, and we did a real good job just defending. Katter made a number of key saves at key times, but we match up with them well. I think there are some similarities. I think there are some differences. We have a lot of respect for their team. What I like about their team is when we play them, the games are hard, but it's straight up hockey. There's no extra stuff. There's very little extracurricular activity after the whistle. It's hard Central Division hockey. That's how it was at Riverside Arena in Austin last weekend. We're hoping that's how it's going to be this weekend here at home.
You bet. And, are we changing anything from what our preparations were for last week? Now that we come back here to the Odde Ice Center, we know that we're going to get, our wonderful, passionate fans that come into this house and definitely rock it. Is there different changes in game plans, or are you just going to kind of roll with what was working last week?
Yeah, we want to play well in front of our fans. We want to give them a real good showing. We want to compete and give an effort that the people can be proud of. But we're not really going to change what we do during the week in practice. There were some trends on the tape, some areas watching the video that we've got to obviously improve on. But we're not going to really do anything different against Austin. We have to be better with our power play. That's going to be a big point of emphasis. Let's call a spade a spade. It wasn't very good on the weekend. We scored the 4-on-3 power play goal in overtime on Friday. But we need to do a slightly better job against their aggressive penalty kill forecheck and their aggressive penalty kill end zone structure. So we'll look at some special team stuff. We'll keep plugging away and doing what we do and worry about us and being the best we can be Monday through Thursday as we get ready for Friday.
60 games in the regular season. Not too many times you're going to find where a team matches up on their rink Friday and Saturday, and then the next week comes to our rink, Friday and Saturday. Especially both of us sitting now number one in the NIHL Central Division standings. How big is leadership from your team captains and your veteran players in this particular role, having to hit these essentially 4 straight games against the Robertson Cup runner-up last year?
Yeah, our leadership has been real good. Kyle Hake, Austin Swingle, and Daniel Billett have been 3 real good leaders for us, and there are a number of guys who stepped up to it who I haven't mentioned. I kind of see, as the coach, the leadership and the growth because I'm with them all the time. Our bench is very calm. I like our demeanor before games. It's slightly different this year than it was last year. We have a different type of focus to us. I'm not going to say it's razor-like because we want our guys to smile and have some fun. But when we go over the wall and we come in on game nights, we have a slightly different swagger or strut or more of a professional demeanor and look to us that I think is good and healthy to have. Again, our guys are having fun. They're smiling and they're laughing, but they're slightly more dialed in. We were this weekend. We knew what was coming. We knew that in the past we haven't been as good in Austin as we've wanted to be. So I'm preaching a message. Coach Gratton's preaching a message. But when the guys in the room are then hearing it from Haker and Billy and Swings, it only adds a little bit more credibility to it because let's face it, we're coaches, we can only teach so much. But when it's coming from them, Ward, when it's coming from in the room, it has a real big effect. So hopefully those guys can keep leading into the weekend, and hopefully those guys can keep leading as we go down the stretch here with a very long season and a lot of hockey left.
You bet. And as has been the last couple, or at least last week, and we're going to continue to Don, we got some questions for the coach. Are you willing to take some questions?
Sure, fire away.
Well, our first question comes from Carole again, who joins us and asks the question, what happens to the players' sticks when they break, and how much does each stick cost?
Well, that's a good question. When the players' sticks break, Dustin Johnson, our fine equipment manager, has a collection down in the equipment room. And Dustin actually told me this 2 weeks ago. I didn't know this. Interesting timing on this question. Dustin actually gives the broken sticks away to some of the local youth players that collect them or use the blade and part of the shaft for mini sticks. I'm not sure what they do with them, but there are youngsters here in Aberdeen that like the broken sticks, so Dustin gives them to the youth. So if you're a youngster out there and you're watching the coach's show and you want a stick, bug Dustin on game night. He's got them for you. And then as far as cost, this is one piece of equipment where the price has gone up over the years. You can't get a good old-fashioned $30 wooden stick anymore. These sticks run anywhere from $90 to $150, depending on the type of stick and the model, and if it's pro stock or what have you. So sticks are expensive today. Most players use one pieces now. They're supposed to last longer, but they still break. And when they do, mom and dad are opening the checkbook.
Our next question comes from Mark, and Mark asks, what's your favorite part about home games inside the Odde Ice Center?
Well, obviously, people across junior hockey know we have a great fan base and a loud crowd. I'll answer it this way. I'll tell you what I think the players enjoy. The players enjoy something I don't see. I come out to the bench right before the anthem, but the intros and Thunderstruck and the crowd and how everybody gets into it, it really makes the players feel big time. I know that hearing it from them. My favorite part is I really appreciate the passion of the fans when the fans get up out of their seats and cheer on the guys. And I always like, sure, fans cheer for goals and they cheer for fights, but I like when a player has a big block. He blocks a shot and the crowd comes out of their seat. I like when we have a shift where we keep the puck in the other team's end zone and we get a look or two, we get a good chance on the goalie, maybe we don't score, but the crowd comes out of their seats and tries to help the group carry momentum to the next shift. I like when we have a real big penalty kill and the crowd gets up out of their seat. I hear and see that a lot at the Odde, and hopefully our great fans can continue to do that more and more, because it does send a jolt up the players' backs, and it does give them a little more jam and energy for the next shift. So keep cheering when we score, but man, when those good team things happen in the game and fans can come out of their seats, they do become like the seventh man on the ice. It does help energize the group.
You bet. Coming up this weekend, Friday and Saturday here inside the Odde Ice Center, the two first-place teams in the NAHL Central Division, the Austin Bruins, come into our house here at the Odde Ice Center and take on the Aberdeen Wings. And Friday night, it is Free Kids Friday, which means with each kid that is kids 12 and under, get a free ticket with each purchase of an adult general admission ticket. So there's an opportunity for the kids to come. And also, after the game on Friday, it is Skate with the Wings, an opportunity to skate around with your favorite Wings player. And also, this is a great time to get your sticks from Dustin. And also, you can get them autographed. We'll have some markers in the hands of the players, and you can get your shirts autographed by the players out on the ice and whatever else, and it's a lot of fun. So come for Skate with the Wings after the game on Friday. Saturday night is college night. $2 off your admission when you present your current college ID for all of our college students, and that is good for any university, wherever it may be, not just local. But we look forward to seeing you guys all here at the Odde Ice Center this Friday and Saturday as the Aberdeen Wings take on the Austin Bruins. It's the battle of the number ones in the NAHL Central right here inside our barn at the Odde Ice Center.